Hello guys, let's have a quick introduction of mine. I'm Suresh Lenka, a blogger known as America Odia Toka Blogs. I am an IT professional with 18 years IT experience. I worked in development, testing, automation. So I'm starting software automation training. It will cover automations as well as manual. So the course is composing is for those who want to start their career from the beginning. So I'm starting from the grassroots so that you have your fundamentals is clear and you can handle the non-technical technical questions related to software testing. Let's have a quick start of testing. So what I'm going to cover today. So what is, why and benefits of software testing, types of testing, and the ultimate question, why to choose software testing as a career. So those three things I'm going to address. What is software testing? It's a general. What is testing? To test whether something is working or not. So that is generally we call testing. But in the software world, it's a method to check the product whether it meet the requirement, expectations, and ensure there is no error. It means it's error free and there is no bug. It's verifying computer system or program to decide whether it meets the specified requirements and produces the desired results. The outcome is to identify bugs in software products or projects, right? So testing is nothing but to identify there is any issue. Identify issue means there is any bug or defect. The next is, why testing needed? I can create a product and at the end I can test it whether it's working or not, right? So it's too expensive, right? If you find a issue of the product at the end, so why we need the testing? So it's always a good practice to test and identify product error before the launch, right? If there are any errors or bug in the software, it can be identified early and fixed or resolved. The software bugs could be expensive or even being bad to customer experience. If there is a bug, it is a bad experience, right? If we launch a phone or device software and it didn't work, the app didn't work, unexpectedly it is closing out, so it's a customer dissatisfaction, so the customers are going out from the client, right? So what is the benefits of testing, right? Good quality product, that's always matter, right? To retain existing customer and can grow business base in term of revenue, right? If we have a good customer satisfaction and if there is a security in the product, the software product secure in terms of different cyber theft, cyber attack, and it should be cost effective. So identifying a bug earlier in software development lifecycle is less costlier than identifying a bug in the latter stage of the software development lifecycle. I will cover the topic what is software development lifecycle. Just remember, like everything to do, there is a cycle or there is a process, right? So SDLC in software development lifecycle, there is a process I will cover in my latter chapter. So far you understand what is testing, why testing, and the benefits, right? Thumbs up. So now we'll understand what are the types of testing, right? What are the types of testing? There is a functional testing and there is a non-functional testing. There is a performance testing and there is a regression testing. What is functional? Functional testing to test actual function of a product or software. It's broadly divided into different categories. I will go to them one by one. So functional means you just test. Suppose you got a phone, just to check the basic functionality of the phone is working or not. I am able to get a call, I am able to make a call, I am able to read the messages. So those are the functionality of the phone, right? So similarly, in a software, when you test, the bare minimum is the functionality test. The next is the non-functional aspect of the product, and the ultimately is the performance means I have a phone and its battery has a good performance and it is able to handle large volume of messages, large volume of data storage. And regressions means if we are developing a software, whether that particular software is working with the current environment or not, with the current existing software. So I'll go all of them one by one. So let's start the functional aspect of testing. As I said earlier, right, functional testing is nothing but to test the actual function of the software or the product. So it is broadly divided into unit testing, integration testing, system testing, and acceptance testing. Just remember this, you will go all in depth and depth later. So unit testing, what is unit testing? It's a bare minimum test done by a developer who is developing the software or who is developing the code. It's a bare minimum testing has to be done by that persons who initially developed the module or the unit, right? So how the person is going to test? He can test manually, whatever, just run his code manually and see it's working or not, or he can write an automated script unit or the module tested by the developer. So that is called unit testing. So what is next? Integration testing. Why integration testing needed, right? When we develop a product or a software, when developing, right, it has component 1, component 2, component 3, component 4, right? So many different components. Let's say I have a product called mouse, right? This mouse has so many units, right? It has a this particular one, ruling one, this left click, right click, this has a wear, this has a laser beam in the down, right? So all these components different companies has built, let's say, right? Then they has to be assembled together, right? So that assembled together is nothing but is the integration testing, right? Just to integrate individual components which is built by each developer, right? And to ensure they will integrate together, then to test and ensure all integrated and working properly. So that is called integration testing. The next is system testing. This is very interesting, right? So system testing is nothing but there are different modules developed after integration compile as a whole against the whole applications, right? Like the developed modules, there module 1, module 2, module 3, they all are integrated and they are compiled as a whole applications. They are assembled together as a whole applications and they test as a entire product whether it is working perfectly or not. That is called system testing. So in system testing, have to check whether the entire functionality of the application is working or not, and that testing can be done again manually, someone manually to go enter some data and check working or not, or through automations, right? So either manual or through automations. So next topic is acceptance testing. What is acceptance testing? So someone is sponsoring or giving some money to you to build a product, right? So the owner who gave the money, who gave the revenue to build that product, that is the stakeholder, right? So at the end, the stakeholder want to test whether it is working or not, Like if I'm a stakeholder, I'm developing, I have a requirement to create a retail portal, right? So I have different kind of customers from different countries. So each customers are nothing but they are the end users. So that end users perspective, what is the input can be given to the system and whether the system is working properly or not. So that is called acceptance testing. Acceptance testing, this is called user acceptance testing, which is done by user to ensure the final product working successfully based upon the business or stakeholders need, or whether it is not working, right? And acceptance testing again can be done by manually and can be done by automated. So far you understood why testing, right? What is testing, why testing, benefit of testing, type of testing, right? Unit, system integrations, system testings, user acceptance testings, performance testing, right? So many things, the terms of type of testings. Now, why I'm going to choose a career as a tester? How much compensations current market is offering, and based upon my skill set, right, whether I can go for a testing, yeah, either a manual testing or a automation testing or whole as a tester, right? In this current market situations, there is need of a lot of a tester, right? Whether for the software testing, whether manual testing or automation testing. So automation testing is the hot in the market, right? So the current market has a lot of requirement of tester, right? And most commonly academic background nowadays companies are looking, right? They are looking graduates which are B or B Tech, or they are bachelors in science, or they are MCA, or they are just graduates in math or science, or they are graduate in commerce, right? Or even arts. But in US market and India market, there is a difference. In India market, there are a lot of computer science background, or just engineering background, or just a lot of MCA background. So they are focusing a lot of those backgrounds. And if you compare with the American markets or Europe markets, they just look a graduate who has a science in science or in a math, then they will look okay, engineer or a master or MS, or any higher study. So it's, if you are a math or science guy, you can pick up it quickly because some statistics of math, because their math skill or your science skills is also required. Or if you are good in some kind of non-technical aspect also, that will help also for automation testing or as a testing as a career. Or if you have a career of diploma in IT or computer science, that is also best suitable, right? Because you already studied the basics of computer in your diploma career or in your college career. So now next, to upscale whatever you have, a graduate or undergraduate, let's upscale it, let's hope for the best and learn all about testing. Testing is something that it require a lot of non-technical skill sets. It will require also technical skill sets. What are the non-technical skill sets? I think any of the human being has a lot of non-technical skill sets, right? I'm just college graduate, I have some non-technical skill sets. Even if I go math, science or arts or commerce, I have basic analytical skills. If there is a commerce graduate, right, he does a lot of commerce study in the analytics, current market trend and all, right? So that kind of analytical skill is required. Able to do quick analysis in English, readable business requirement, get good understanding, and can convert or testing scenarios called test cases. So it's nothing but analytical skills. You just analyze the documents or the requirements which are written in the plain language from different sources, and from them you come out with different scenarios. What is going into I'm going to test? If I test input A, whether it is working or not. If I put input B, whether it is working or not. If I combine A and B put together, whether it is working or not, right? And convert each of the scenario as a test cases. My test case 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's the analytical skills. The next is communication skill. So good in writing, documenting, or good in verbal English language, right? So wherever is your standard of communications, let's try to improve your communication skills, because when you are a tester, you need do lot of communications with different partners, right? You will communicate with the business partners, you will communicate with the different stakeholders, you will communicate with the business analyst, you will communicate with the developer who is actually doing the coding, right? A QA is nothing but is tester, quality analyst, or quality analyst, or QA automations, whatever is your testing career you are choosing, right? It's need a communication skills. So a tester should have a good communication skills. The next one is very interesting. Positive attitude. Throw out all negative attitude. Focus only positive. If you think positive, everything is going to be positive. So a good attitude to test and identify error and document, that is needed as a positive attitude. If you have a good positive attitude, you can take the system on a different angle and try to test it and try to break it and say, okay, these are the errors, developer fix it, or business, these are the errors, we are going to handle this much we are not going to handle, right? So it's need a positive attitude. And the next is the passion, right? A tester should be always passionate to excel in testing and break the system. What is the way, what are the different thinking I can do to break the system, to identify error? Identifying the error or breaking the system while it is in development is a good quality of a good tester. So look this diagram. The middle is sitting the good software tester, right? So what he need? He has good verbal written communication, spoken English, written English. He's passionate to break the system, and he has developed some good technical skills, and he has good analytical skills to read the document and parse it and put it into different testing requirement. And all, of course, it needs positive attitude and the productivity, right? So those are the good quality of a good tester. Interesting, friends, right? Yeah, it's interesting. Don't think I didn't know anything, it's too hard. So what are the things I just told it? It's very simple, right? So these are the things needed for testing. Now I'm going to cover the technical skill set required for a tester, whether you are a manual tester or you are going to be an automation tester. If you are learning my sessions from starting to end, you will be a good cloud automation tester at the end. Okay, if you follow my series one by one, within small time frame you will become a good tester. Okay, let's stop talking. Now let's cover what is the technical skill sets needed. So technical skill sets is basic knowledge on Windows computer, right? everybody nowadays knows computer, right? Everybody has laptop, they have desktop, they knows the Windows operating system. Or if you have a Mac operating system, of you are working in the Linux environment or Unix environment, so those are operating system knowledge needed, right? Bare minimum Windows operating system. You can open your laptop, you can open your Microsoft Word, you can write your some documents. You Microsoft Excel to put the documents in, to put some data in different rows and columns, right? And Notepad, everybody knows, write something in the Notepad. Or there is a good tool called Notepad plus plus. Download it, it is a free software. That's a good way to use it. So that is the basic knowledge of basic knowledge on Windows computer, right? The next is database knowledge of database, SQL, structured query language. That is everybody nowadays in computer science learning from the day one enter into the college, all right? Or if diploma, it's learning also in the second year or third year something. Knowledge of database and SQL is good if you have knowledge of database. What is database? Database management system, DBMS. I'm not going to cover those all, just remember the terminology. And there is a relational database means there is a parent, there a child, and they have both a relationship, right? And there are tables, columns, rows, keys, so all are related to the database and SQL. Those is required bare minimum. And the basic SQL queries, right? Don't worry, I will have a separate session on SQL database. You will able to load the SQL database, you will do some hands-on on SQL also, so don't worry. So what else technical skill set needed? So you are a tester, right? You should know some tools, right? Some tracking tools where you can track the defects or the errors, what is happening after your testing, right? You want to document all this. So the tool used to document the software defects, those are the defect tracking tools. There are various defect tracking tools available in the market to learn. So there is a quality center which is a QC called, it was previously it was HP, I think it's with HP now. And there is a Jira tool, Atlassian Jira. I will cover these two tools also later, don't worry. The next is knowledge on test management tools, right? If you are a tester, you are an experienced tester, right? You want to manage the testing cycle, right? So what is test management tools? A tool to capture the entire software testing life cycle. That is called STLC, software testing life cycle. Like software development life cycle, similarly there is a testing life cycle. So most commonly used tools are Quality Center, X-Ray, Jira X-Ray tool. I will go those tools also later. The next is software development life cycle. So this is very interesting. Those have not heard this terminology. So in order to develop a application, software application, there needs to be follow some certain standards and a life cycle. So that life cycle is software development life cycle. It's very important to know each phase of the software development life cycle. I'll cover that in my later chapter. In short, what is software development life cycle? Like bring the requirement, right, to the table, right? What is the requirement? What is business wants? Gather the requirement, then analyze. If business gave 10 pages of document their requirement, this is how I need the UI screen, there is my logo, this is a customer needs to enter, so they have some document or something. So you have to analyze it, right? Then after you analyze, what you will do? You will design how I'm going to do it, right? So after design, what you will do? you will build the components, right? Different units you will build. So after your different units built, what you will do next? You will integrate or assemble them together. Then next is you are going to test it whether it is working or not. If it is working fine, it made the business standard, then you are going to deploy in the production and give a chance to the business to use it and give the feedback. So that is called the software life cycle. I just go a very short, I'll go in depth detail later. The next is software development methodologies. So there is some particular norms needs to follow. If we are in a company, we need to follow the company norms. Similarly, for developing a software, there is a method needs to be followed, right? So what are the software development methodologies? It's a traditional waterfall model. Waterfall means it's falling from top to down, right? You are going from top to down, or you are going from bottom to top, right? And there is another methodology called agile, right? Agile is maybe sound something new to you, or SDLC, waterfall model. I'll go through them later also. So nowadays the most commonly used method is agile. Most of the companies now don't follow waterfall, they are following agile. So the agile life cycle, right, I will also cover, don't worry. If you follow me starting to end, you will learn everything. So friends, let's stop today. It's going to be too much, I think, for many people if you're starting their career from scratch, from the beginning. So next chapter I will cover automation skill set, automation tools, what are the UI automation tools, what is the back-end automation tools, what is the service automation tools, what are the automation tools we are used for cloud automation. So lot of things is coming in line. So far whatever you learn the basics, so go over and over the videos and get acquainted with this. So we will be speed up slowly. Okay, so next upload will come after 2-3 days, don't worry.